This is the first movie where we actually see the full body of the xenomorphs actually running around.
They're all really, wow. Whoa. Dang, that's a sim.
Dude, getting it to wrap around these dudes? Look how much work this is.
Wait, they replaced ET with a CG ET?
Yeah.
I kind of want to see that.
Thanks to the Ridge Wallet for sponsoring this video. Stick around to the end so you can get 10% off.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to Visual Effects Artists React. That's right, it's an OG episode today with Niko and Wren and myself. Today we have some incredible clips for you. I hope you enjoy.
I got clips that these guys have never seen before. I got tasty clips. They're gonna lose it. Dude, I got a T-pose clip. I got a natural T-pose in a movie.
Whoa. Hey, remember that time we put a T-pose in our Boston Dynamics video?
Yeah. Remember the time that Joe Rogan thought it was real?
Yeah, twice. So we're gonna be looking at a movie with some of the worst CGI ever made, because this is a movie that came out before CGI was really a thing.
Ooh, it's pretty rough.
That one shot in particular was a little rough.
They're all really, wow. Whoa.
So up until this point, all of the alien shots we've seen were of a dude in a suit or some sort of like stop motion thing. This is the first movie where we actually see the full body of the xenomorphs actually running around.
Obviously, we got some like classic 90s compositing going on here where, oh my gosh, and like it's like sliding around. They're like tracking the light decently, but it's just like weird circle bulbous shape going on there for the head shadow.
That's 100% hand roto. That's a Bezier curve done in like After Effects or Flame or something
Are you
like
talking
that.
about the shadow?
The shadow.
It's rough.
It is rough. I mean, this is a situation where like I feel like you got an artist on an old machine, and it's like you can do like 3 things before it gets to be too intense and your like composite breaks. You can't render it anymore.
So it's important to note that there's not really any CGI in this movie.
Hey, what's the difference between visual effects and CGI?
Great question. CGI is when you are creating something with a computer from scratch. Visual effects is basically a broader term that can encompass certain effects done on a computer, but also just visual trickery like, you know, compositing film over itself. So this is a good example. We're not looking at CGI here. This is VFX.
VFX, yeah. All of the aliens that you're seeing are actually rod puppets. These xenomorphs you're seeing are literally like a third of the size of the real thing, and all of its limbs, its head, its tail are attached to little rods. And you have like 3 to 5 dudes literally just going mur, 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 mur. Mm-hmm. But it was also a huge challenge for them to actually do all of this stuff because yes, you have the blue background for the alien, but the rods aren't blue. And even if they were, you know, sometimes the rods are in front of the alien, and what that means is that they had to go in and manually like rotoscope out the rods from the alien on top of keying it out. But they actually had some pretty fancy stuff for actually filming the movie though, because David Fincher didn't want to have like static shots. He didn't want to have tripod shots. So he wanted to have a moving camera. And so what they ended up developing and building for this movie was a special type of motion control system, one that was able to record the motion as a regular operator moved the camera. We're talking like dollying left and right, tilting the camera up and down, panning left and right. Those were all recorded into a recorder that they could then take and replicate with motors at 1/3 scale. Essentially all the technology from Star Wars, but like executing at pretty much the peak of what that type of tech can do.
It's just so crazy how like janky this stuff looks compared to the first 2 Alien movies.
I want to talk about what that is. Why are people's brains going, ugh, this looks bad? And it's the edges of the alien. It's kind of a matte line issue. Like here, you can really see there's like this black line. Normally we see that, and that's just kind of like bad matting. We've talked about that classic style of compositing in the past, but for me, it almost looks like it's like a negative light wrap. You know, like it feels like that dark line is eating into the alien layer.
Yeah, I mean, you have like 10 different things that influence your edges. You have your actual onset lighting, you have the reflective properties of the surface and what's behind it, you have the actual matte edges, as you mentioned. If you look at her shirt literally gets brighter right on the edge there as well.
Yeah,
if you look
that's
at
actually a good reference.
The pole behind her, you know, that gets brighter on the edge as well. But Xenomorph doesn't get brighter on the edge. It's probably all the edge work they're trying to do to get it to blend in.
Like, I personally think it's probably part of their rudimentary despill process, because where we see it the most is on this ultra round object. Since we're looking at a rounded object, we're basically getting this sliver line that's bouncing the light of whatever's behind it. So how do you despill that stuff? Because there's plugins you can use for After Effects.
Yeah, why didn't they use those plugins back then?
Despill it. I don't know how this is done when it's shot on film, but I would imagine if we saw what this looked like without that black line, it'd probably be blue.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's they're trying to remove the blue, but didn't quite remove the actual brightness value, because the reflection idea we're talking about is called Fresnel. Basically, what it means is that the more parallel you get to a surface, the more reflective it becomes. And if you're looking perfectly parallel along a surface, it's almost going to be perfectly mirror-like. And so what we're seeing there, instead of a dark edge, we should see a very bright edge, and we're not. So our brains just subconsciously are seeing something that is wrong.
That looks really good.
That looks good.
Okay, yeah, that was an edition that was made in 2003, over 10 years later.
That's why it looks so good.
Yeah, and they tried doing it with actual puppet work here, and it just didn't quite make it in time for the initial cut of the movie. So when they did the revised version over 10 years later, they added the CG little
Cheating.
little baby thing.
You should have done it the same way.
Also, for the record, I was looking at some before and afters on the new 4K release, and a lot of the edges and the contrast and color matching has been fixed. And they didn't go back and just replace the alien with a CGI alien like they did for, E.T., for instance.
Wait, they replaced E.T. with a CG E.T.?
Yeah.
Sorry. I kind of want to see that. Oh, no, look. They made him go boing even harder. Because previously he's just gliding through the grass, with a little wiggle wobble. Now he's bounding. Oh, whoa.
There's a CGI ET for sure.
They straight up made him CGI, you're right.
It feels over-animated, and I feel like this is a representation of early animation where they realized, wait, we can do all kinds of stuff. We can actually squish his cheeks out and make him have a little bit more character. But E.T. in our heads is still that initial original E.T. that was a little bit more stiff because it was a real puppet.
Tell me when it's over!
This is an interesting shot because it's clearly, all right, here's a kid on a blue screen, and then they have your aerial footage behind him. And so obviously there's a little bit of bump and wobble that they can't quite account for, in the track there. So it's not totally stabilized. So I'm curious though, do you think they found the original stock of the guy on the blue screen?
Probably.
And tracked him onto a smoother shot?
I mean,
Probably.
also, the aerial footage is whiter in the new shot, so I wonder if they found the original footage and they had cropped it, and now it's uncropped.
That's what it looks like to me, in the sense that it looks like they managed to actually get the original stock of the visual effects elements here, and then restabilize stuff and properly track it back in.
And add 2 additional bikes.
Because I can totally get behind that kind of 20th anniversary re-release mega edition stuff where it's guys, check this out. We have the original stuff here, and we can actually do this shot better.
Yeah, we can redo the compositing.
It's an objective better kind of shot.
I mean, that's truly a remaster. That's taking the original footage and remastering it. Imagine if you listened to a Beatles remastered album, but it's just new singers. It's
yeah. The Beatles 100th anniversary edition is so we improved all the singing on the songs.
Yeah, I can see this being early enough in CGI becoming good that Steven Spielberg would be excited about this. And let's make a CGI ET. And it does look good. But now another 20 years on top of this, where it's these are both in our history now. It's look, tell me what you guys think. Would you prefer the jank and the charm of the original, or would you prefer a version of the movie you can watch where you're not being distracted by old special effects?
I guess it's really not about me. It's about the children. What do you think children in 2002 thought of this? Versus in the 80s. Does it still fill them with wonder and excitement? Because I think that's the metric to judge it by.
Somebody in the comments of one of our previous videos mentioned there's a T-pose in the original Hellboy.
You're telling me someone dropped in a 3D model of a character, but forgot to animate it, and then it made it to the final film?
Well, let's just real quick define what a T-pose is. So when you have a character and you're modeling the character and you want to rig it up and move it, you generally model it so the limbs are away from each other in a standard position. So when you put a skeleton in there, if my arms were like this when I modeled my character and I had to put a skeleton in there, like everything's all stuck together and too close to each other. Like at least over here, my left hand and my right hand are far away. So if I put a bone in my hand, it knows to attach to this hand and not to all the rest of the mesh. When you have an animation glitch and your character loses animation, they return to their default pose, which is the T-pose. Hence why there's a T-pose in the Boston Dynamics short.
Yeah, all right, let's just see. I want to see if we could spot it.
That's all for you, Pinhead.
Wait,
I saw it. There's a flicker. He's like, "Huh."
wait, that's a CG Hellboy in that shot?
No, he's not CG. You're just looking at a compositing glitch.
Oh, it's not a T-pose. He's still holding the gear. It's almost as if like the shot finished and then they just took the beginning few frames for the end frames.
I bet you it's one of those things like when you run out of footage, you can set the program to like use the first frame, hold the last frame, ping pong back and forth. It probably just defaulted back to the first frame and held
It was like set to like a loop mode by default. So when they extended it,
it goes back to the beginning of the shot.
oh my god. Okay, so that's not actually a T-pose. That's just a funny like footage glitch.
Also, it's closer to a Y pose. Let's be honest here.
It depends on how you draw your T's. Hey everybody, our channel was hacked and it was deleted, so we gotta start from 0. So consider subscribing.
It is still currently deleted.
As of filming this episode, our channel was hacked and then terminated. So you know what that means? It means we lost a lot of subscribers. So if you're not subscribed, you should definitely subscribe right now because we got a lot of numbers to make up for. And if you are subscribed, just make sure you still are subscribed because who knows what happened on YouTube.
People were kind of ragging on Miss Marvel. Let's be real. It's a TV series. It actually looks amazing for a TV series. Now that Disney's like doing Marvel TV series, they're trying to hit this bar of like quality that the Marvel movies have. And it's a really challenging thing to do. This shot, let's watch it. It's not flawless or perfect, but after we watch it, I want you guys to try to figure out what's going on and how did they make the shot.
I'm getting like CG person vibes.
The animation is pretty solid.
For the most part.
For the most part, yeah. There's like a couple moments where she's doing a whole bunch and that's all having to be animated. But like the thing that gave it away to me was the final like second where she's no longer on those things and she's on the ground. There's something uncanny about it.
She does that really weird like, yes, but she like floats over and like floats back and like her center of gravity doesn't change enough for like the shot.
You know, this is a super challenging type of animation to do because what comes first? Is it chicken or the egg? Do you animate the foot pad or the character first? Because they're both intertwined from an animation standpoint. It's a simulation within a simulation. How do you handle that timing of when something like drops versus when the character reacts?
It's like your character stands on a seesaw. Do you animate the seesaw and then your character adjusting to it, or do you animate your character and then the seesaw adjusting to the character?
Yeah, if you have someone like balancing, what comes first in the animation process? That being said though, like overall, like it is generally working, except for then the part when, you know, she hops off and you're like, oh, okay, I get it.
Here's my takeaway on this. Like a lot of people were criticizing this for being janky. And like it's a little janky because like it's super ambitious. Like how do you make a character walk and run on things that are in the air? Now they went with the motion capture route. The thing is with motion capture, you still can't do impossible things. So they did it in chunks. Like they did a little bit here and they set up new platforms and they did it there. They set up new platforms and they did it there. And you can see these transitions now where you have like flawless motion. Like when she jumps up onto like that air conditioning stack right there, you get kind of this like morph or like whoop, like she moves to the next pose. So they're blending different motion capture chunks. When you go from reality to hand animation and back to reality, our brains are just so good at picking that up that we see it.
Yeah, that's exactly the problem I have with this shot is that it's a very slow, long take and it gives us the opportunity to really scrutinize it.
Now they probably could have gotten away with it and no one would have said anything about this shot if they would have just cut this shot a second before it actually cut and we didn't get the 100% hand animation janky bits on the ground.
Or just punch into like a close-up or something of that final reaction.
Like, and cut.
Yeah, cut on the landing.
So, I mean, it looks great for a TV show and for the volume of effect shots in this, it's wonderful, but also they're pushing it so hard that things do break a little bit. And it's just a testament to the challenge of trying to make hand animation look real. Wow.
I mean, that's cool.
Looks insanely good.
That was pretty sweet.
Dang, look at them Sims.
Wow.
What's that called? Elephant's toothpaste?
Yeah.
That's a Sim.
That's a really nice sim.
Dang.
I mean, the fact they have like different material properties in the foam. There's like parts that are still, like liquid, and there's parts that are foamy. Dude, getting it to wrap around these dudes. Look how much work this is.
I mean, those are CG dudes, though.
No, they were real.
Those are the collision models.
Okay, so what you're saying is that was real footage of those dudes coming out of the doorway, but someone had to go through and essentially rotomation, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Collision models, what we're saying is that they needed something to interact with the fluid sim, because the fluid sim is definitely not real, but the soldiers are real, so they have to basically replicate the soldiers' motion with very highly detailed 3D models so that the fluid going around it actually
has something to bounce off of.
and stick. Yeah.
I'm just saying this is insanely good.
There is practical. Look at their feet there. They do have practical foam. They
Let's
hit it with
see.
a little bit. That's all practical right there.
And in the final shot, it's not really used because it all gets covered. You know, I commend the filmmakers for that, at least forward thinking. They're like, we gotta have something here.
Yeah, obviously there's no practical way to film a sequence like this without like completely making your set unusable.
Also, that foam is incredibly hot.
So we're seeing steam come off of it because it's boiling hot.
Exactly, yeah. It's an exothermic reaction. Like, you can't,
Oh.
for safety reasons, have someone just swimming around in that stuff.
So Miss Marvel burned these guys alive?
I mean, yeah.
She's boiling.
They're all horribly dying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all getting steamed up and they're turning into little crabs.
Yeah, chemistry.
That looks really good. It's a very simple shot, actually, at the end of the day. The technique is simple, the execution is simple.
I wouldn't call it simple. What do you mean?
Okay, so it's the CGI shot at the halfway point. The people getting flung around the car, they're CGI characters that have been animated to fly over the car. But the way the shot is lit makes it really easy to make that CGI look realistic. It's, you know, really strong, harsh key light from the side. So you're not dealing with crazy surface properties that you have to try to like show under a bunch of lighting. It's dark with just one bright light off to the side.
The people who are real at the beginning of the shot are still comped into it. The actual base footage, which is real, is of the car entering the scene and the camera guy being like, oh, gotta chase the action back to this guy. But those people aren't in the shot. They're being added back in, even though they are also filmed.
The thing that makes it really, really good is the animation. Whoever animated the bodies flying over the car nailed that aspect of it.
Like especially like the guy in the orange jacket, you see how he gets forward momentum, but then his leg goes down and catches the ground and creates that like kind of friction, which then stops his momentum, allowing the car to continue over him. There's a lot of details that cue you into it being real. Their actions take note that one person is being hit immediately and the other one has that moment to like still take 2 steps. Really, really good directing there.
Good mind's eye imagination of what's gonna happen, which is crucial to making cool VFX shots.
And also like the stuff that goes flying into the air. So you see the bandana.
Yeah.
I love
Kinda-
the bandana falls slowly compared to everything else.
It's those little things that are just really nice about it.
I do like the other guy spits when he gets hit though.
It's like a cold environment, and you see that like breath of exhaled air shoot out, which is like a really tiny, tiny detail, but like it's yeah, I don't know, it's fantastic. The motion of the suspension, it doesn't look like just a car just skidding, you know, it feels like we got some elevation here.
The car is actually running over sandbags. That's all it is. It's just running over cinema sandbags. Probably have some lying in the corner. Oh, there's one right here.
It's a bag filled with sand. It's
a sandbag.
That felt like you literally just said, oh, dude.
Yeah, it's proof. It's actually made out of sand.
It actually has sand in it.
Yeah.
They just put a big stack of sandbags, which you have on every film set, and they ran over them with the car.
We did that.
Yeah.
Remember?
That effect was straight up me copying this effect. Just I didn't use a CGI character going flying. We just had you on the ground instead. But the angle, the technique, it was all the same. Minus the CGI guys flying. We just
Wait,
used
are
an
you
element
saying
of
you specifically saw this and you're like, I'm gonna do this for the
Yes.
PUBG video? Oh,
Yes.
all right. Well, snap, okay.
Like John Burton said, you sell your effect, right? And this is perfect selling the effect. They start with real people, and then when the car hits them, when it's hidden from your eye, like a magician, sleight of hand, they transition to the CGI. They have the real elements there. You have a real car hitting real bumps. You have real dust, add a little bit of dust in the CG bodies, and boom, you got yourself a wonderful shot.
Run.
Do you feel like we maybe cut things a little short here? Well, head over to corridordigital.com where we have extended editions of these episodes. They're awesome. Check it out.
Everybody in the office could use a little Ridge wallet makeover. courtesy of the Ridge wallet. Hey Chase, how's your wallet treating you these days?
You got a dad wallet.
This is totally a dad wallet. Look at this thing. Look at the size of this thing. Look at this. It's a chunky little wallet right here, man.
Look at this nice brushed metal case.
Dude, that
You
is
know,
beautiful.
This is
man.
yours if you'd
Get
like
this
it.
thing out
You
of
pack all
here.
your cards in there.
Let me see how it feels in the back pocket. Oh, no more bump.
You! Come here! Oh my god, dude.
Oh no! Oh
Son, look at that.
Griffin, I want to give you a new wallet.
This little thing is a wallet?
Yeah. They say the wallets are built with such good quality materials, they have a lifetime warranty on them.
Seriously.
And if you don't like it, within 45 days you can send it back to get all your money back.
Seems like a no-brainer, man. I mean, it's a pretty good deal. This thing looks sweet, dude.
I store my wallet in my fanny pack, mainly because
So you're rocking a dad wallet right there, my man. Hey, you know how like modern cards have like RFID chips in them that you can use to like tap your card and charge your money? Well, what if like some stealthy guy comes up on the street and goes like boop and like gets your RFID chip?
well, right now I'm using RFID protectors.
Are you?
Yeah.
That is very foreign to me. He has every individual card currently wrapped.
What is this?
These are RFID protectors,
You
okay?
actually have RFID
Ready
protectors?
for anything. Dads are always ready.
You're not a dad.
That
You're not
doesn't
a dad.
matter.
If you have a Ridge wallet, you don't need RFID protectors because it's built into the wallet. Here's your new Ridge wallet.
Yeah, dude, save yourself.
For me,
Yeah,
Yeah,
for you.
this is nice. Okay. Thanks, Ridge Wallet.
I'm gonna stop you right there though, because I do not have a dad wallet. I've got a very thin one, as you can see.
What is that?
So-
yeah, that's like an uncle wallet.
It's
for
an
sure.
it's an uncle wallet. It's a weird uncle wallet.
Is it curved?
Now it is. After sitting on it for years. Yes, it is.
Well, did you know that every dollar you spend on Ridge.com to buy a wallet up till September 30th enters you into sweepstakes to win a Ford Bronco? If you don't want the Ford Bronco, you can just win $75K in cash instead.
What? You can pick?
Yeah, you can pick. I feel like you might like the option to have a cool wallet.
Wow. Look at how thin it is.
If you don't like that color, they have over 30 others on the website. Ridge.com/quartercrew for 10% off, or use quartercrew as your coupon code for that same 10% off. There's links in the description below. I use it. I guess I don't know how to endorse it beyond that. This is my wallet. Go check it out, Ridge.com.
I want to hear about your glitches in movies. What little glitches have you noticed? Weird, funky little things like Hellboy T-posing. Please consider leaving a comment down below. Let us know.
That was a lot of fun. Thank you for sticking around and watching despite our channel not currently existing in this moment. Hopefully it's back. I'm assuming it's back. You're watching it. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Ta-ta.